Hey friends, today on Gardening with Creekside, it is an absolutely gorgeous spring day here in North Carolina, and I'm going to take full advantage of it, and I'm going to get a few annuals into some containers and a little spot in the ground here at the landscape. Obviously, here we are, back porch, right, the patio. I mean, can you see that gorgeous Carolina blue sky, y'all? And I would say it's quite toasty. If you've followed us for any length of time, you know that this back patio is a really nice warm spot. And so we are feeling the heat today. It feels fantastic. So what are we going to be planting today? Well, let me tell you. First of all, I'm going to show you where we're going to plant. We have these two fantastic Weston urns from Unique Stone on each side of our seating wall. Right now they have two in each one. There is a sprinter boxwood in each one. Nice and small, but you see they're a little naked underneath here. So we're going to plant them up. I had these planted with some greenery for Christmas and the winter season. Took that out because it was just kind of a fake planted, right? I just used the greenery in there. The sprinters have stayed the whole time. Now we're going to dress it up. Really fun because we have the brand new for next year. So this is not available yet. This is 2024, a brand new Biden. This is a type of plant, so like a petunia. If you're not familiar with Bidens, they are wonderful plants. This is Campfire Marshmallow. Love this name and I love this plant. Bidens, huge fan of them because they're just gorgeous plants. Look how nice and compact and beautiful this plant is. Nice, pure white leaves on it, petals rather, not leaves, petals, with a really nice, pretty yellow center. And there is a tray of 10 right there that you can see. Gorgeous plant. Now, Campfire Marshmallow, of course, like I said, is a Biden. Means it is an annual unless you live in like the really warm zones, like 9 and warmer. Nice upright habit on it. The height is going to be 8 to 14 inches tall. Because these are going to go in containers, it's probably going to be more on the 8. Did I say 8 feet? 8 inches. I hope I did not say 8 to 14 feet. Oh my word, if I did, that would be one heck of an annual now, wouldn't it? 8 to 14 inches tall. It's going to be in a container, so it's going to be on the shorter side because it's going to be more restricted. So we're going to fill in around the base of those two Weston urns with them. Not sure how many it's going to take. We'll find out. And then whatever I have left, you will see right here where my kneeling pad is and the hand trowel, right here between yin and yang viburnum. That is a little quick fire right here. We're going to fill in the rest in this little pocket right here. I thought that would be really fun because Proven Winners sends me these plants so that we can grow them. Since we are a grower retailer, they send them to us as little plugs. We can grow them out, see how they do. As a grower, I love how this thing has grown because it has been very nice and compact. It's not woolly, it is gorgeous, nice early bloomer, and then I get to put them into the gardens to see how they do. So we're going to put them in the landscape and we're going to put them in containers and see how they do there. Also, you may have noticed on the table, we had some other beautiful, nice, bright, happy plants. We're going to put there at the garden shed, I have a little small window box. We're going to put in another type of Biden. This is Goldilocks rocks. Not new, but a gorgeous, beautiful, not like that is a good size bloom. You see that? Really beautiful yellow, love it. More open habit than say like marshmallow. And then we're going to pair it with the Bright Lights purple osteos. So you can kind of see I've got 3 osteos and 2 of the Bidens. Look, this is why we love Bidens. Do you see sweet little honeybee? Yes, the honeybees love Bidens, whether it is Goldilocks rocks, Campfire Flame, which is a great orange, or the new Marshmallow. So we do everything we can to support our pollinators, and planting these great plants is one step in the right direction. So we will mix these together and it will go in the window box in the garden shed just right over there. But first what we're going to do is we are going to get the urns planted. I cannot wait to see that nice, pretty white flower up against that dark green of the sprinter boxwood. Ah, it's gonna be so pretty. All right, so let's get to planting, friends. All right, my friends, so here we are. at the beautiful little sweet little boxwood. Yeah, so boxwood's in there. It's been in there since, I don't know when that was, November. And so we're gonna add these campfire marshmallows to it. I do have my Proven Winners. It's the time release fertilizer. I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle some around the edge where the Bidens are gonna go. That way when I put them in, they will have some nice slow release fertilizer in there. And then when we finish planting, I'm going to come back and top dress with a little bit of land and sea compost. I have found that when you can top dress your containers with some compost, that it really just kind of helps. One, holds in the moisture, because right now, even though I have irrigation to this, I don't have my ring on it. And so this is not currently set up with irrigation because we have so much rain right now. I don't really need it. So that compost helps with that moisture retention and then keeps everything nice and dressed up, and it helps keep the weeds out. So I'm going to use my ever faithful Hori Hori tool to kind of make myself a little hole here. And I'll go ahead and tell you, I went and placed some of these up here to see how many I could fit on this urn, and I may not have any left over to put in the ground. Oh darn, we'll have to find another plant to put in the landscape right beside of us. But look at this beautiful plant. Like, look at the beautiful roots on this thing. This is, as a grower, this is what we love to see. Beautiful, nice white roots. It is not root bound. That's perfectly fine. I'm gonna leave it alone. I do not need to go in there and start messing with it. It's got, those roots will have plenty of room and opportunity to expand. At this point, you can kind of manhandle them, right? So squeeze them down in there and bring your soil back. You do not want your roots exposed to any air. No air pockets, that's not good. So look how sweet that is already. Nice and shorter than the Sprinter boxwood. Nice dark green, beautiful white with yellow. Oh, and I like that it's kind of open and airy look to it, right? Because the boxwood is very solid. And yeah, this is gonna be gorgeous. All right, so I'm gonna place these around, so that way I don't run out of room and misjudge how much room I have. There we go. And then this one can go right here and we will be good to go. All right, so I'm just gonna keep digging my holes here with my Hori Hori and get these in, and then I'll see you back here in just a second. Just as easy as that. I got 5 Bidens in this one, so there's 5 marshmallows in here. I ended up with, I have a total of 11 of the marshmallows, so the next one is going to have 6 in there, but that's all right. So that way I would rather fill these in nice and full and get the full effect as far as their beautiful color and growth and habit. And then probably as far as these containers, throughout the season, I am going to have this is basically going to be my early spring container. And then once like we really get into some really warm temperatures, then I will go ahead and put my summer arrangement in here. Now, are these plants going to go to waste? Am I going to take them out and throw them away? No, I am not. I will recycle them and place them in other parts of the garden. So with the Bidens, they will come out, they will either get put in another container somewhere, or they will go ahead and go into the landscape. And then the Sprinters, if I don't have anywhere for them to go in the landscape, I will put them back into a shrub nursery pot and then just kind of hang on to them until I find a spot for them to go, because there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. They're perfectly fine. And they're just gonna hang out here for the spring and be nice and happy and cheery. All I did was go through with a little bit of the top dress of the Land and Sea, use one of my empty pots to do that. Easy as that. I'm gonna go ahead and go do the other one, and then I'll come back through with the blower, clean up my mess, and then I'm gonna water. So water everybody in. This existing soil is already nice and moist because we had some good rain last night, but go ahead and get them watered in because it is quite warm out here, especially with that sun, and on this patio, it is nice and toasty, and I don't want them to go into shock. So one down, one to go. Two Weston urns are planted with a total of 11 campfire marshmallow Bidens. Love it. So much fun. I did have to take a little water break between finishing planting and right now, because y'all, I'm telling you, I'm just not used to this heat. It is hot. But I was sitting up on the back porch and there were little pollinators and bees, moths coming all over these plants. They already are very excited to have them in the garden, and they're going to fill in. They're going to do nicely. They're going to fill in and just kind of like just all come together, and then the little sprinter will be poking out the top. It will be fantastic. So they are composted, they are watered, got the blower out and got everything kind of blown off, so all the extra soil debris is now gone, and they just look so sweet, so happy. It's nice to have some flowers added back to the garden for sure. Oh, yep, see, there's a little bee. Oh, see it? Can you see her? She's right over there. Oh yeah. Oh, yep. She's a little camera shy. So anyway, okay, so these are done. The heat's starting to get to me and getting a little delirious over here. Pop over here to the garden shed and we're gonna get the Goldilocks rocks and the Bright Lights purple into the container. I'm gonna show you a couple of tricks on how to make sure you have a successful container. I know if you've been watching this for a while, you have seen this before, but it is a wonderful hack. So I'm going to show it to you and get those babies planted. Okay, my friends, so here we are at the garden shed, and I have this little window box, half circle hay rack right here in front of the little window. Jerry's home for the day, and I just realized something, y'all. So these are some violas in here and that I did in the fall. They're just looking tired and sad, and I'm ready to pull them out. The violas and the plants that I'm getting ready to put in here are the exact same colors. Like, we still have the violas were the bright yellow and then that deep rich purple. Can you tell Jenny likes that flower combination? I did not even think about it, and then I walked up here and I was like, oh my gosh. Same exact colors, different flowers, different flower structure. There you go. So what we're going to do is we are going to empty this hay rack, and I'm going to go ahead and take all the soil out because my desire, yep, see, these are nice, and I wouldn't say root bound, but I would say they have nice, good roots in them. I am a huge proponent, supporter of switching out the soil in your containers when you go from season to season, because here in North Carolina I have a very long growing season. I mean, my gosh, it's not even April yet, and here I am planting annuals. They could go for months and months and months. We will see. But look, that was the corner of the, let me show you that. That's the corner of the container, and you can see how it is completely, all the roots are in there. So I want to free up as much available soil, nutrients, all of that out of this container. It's not staying together real well, but the roots go all the way down to the bottom of this, I call them hay racks, to the cocoa liner. And if I were to plant these fresh new flowers in here for a while, they'll probably be okay. They would be all right, but I want these to go for as long as I possibly can, and I want to get fresh soil in there. Why are you going to spend all your good hard-earned money on these beautiful plants and then put them in a growing condition that's not going to be hospitable for good growth? So that's my little personal soapbox. If you want to do something different, it's your garden. But I have found that this works the absolute best in my garden, is replacing, getting good, fresh soil every growing season, and it just makes an absolute world of difference. All right, so all of the soil is out. I got this hay rack from Kinsman Garden Company. I am a huge fan of their products, and I do not need to replace this cocoa liner. It is nice and thick. There are no holes in it, so I am not going to replace it. I've had this, I think, I may have gotten this last year. I don't, you know how time all runs together. I don't remember how long I've had it, but it's been at least 1 year, and this is showing no signs of wear and tear. Again, spend a little extra money up front. It's going to save you in the long haul because you're not having to replace the liner every year. Now, my trick for you to give you gorgeous containers that last a long time: 1, replace the soil every season. 2, learn this little trick from Fine Gardening Magazine. We're going to put the bottom third of this container, we're going to use our compost. So I use the Land and Sea. And I think this is a little wet because it's heavy. All right. So the bottom third of the container has compost in it. The idea is, 1, it helps hold moisture because this will dry out rather quickly. 2, when the roots of the plants hit this, is a whole nother level of nutrition for them, and they get another boost. Then come in with your high quality potting soil. Proven Winners is the only one that I use because it is just the best product for my garden. Really nice, high quality. It holds moisture, but it's also well draining, which is what I need in my garden because of all the rain we get, especially this time of year. So I need a little bit more, so we open up a fresh bag. There we go. Again, another trick. Please don't put the bottom, don't fill the bottom part of your container with non-soil products. Packing peanuts, pine needles, not pine needles, pine cones, empty water bottles, right? That does not hold any nutrition or moisture or anything good for your plants. Use potting soil, please, please, please. All right, so I have 3 of the Bright Lights Osteos. This is, of course, is that purple, beautiful color. Beautiful color here. I've got 3 of those, and then I've got 2 of the Goldilocks rocks. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put the 3 bright lights in a triangle in the center because their height on here says 8 to 12 inches, where the Goldilocks rocks says 8 to 14. So that my Goldilocks rocks could get a little taller, and it has more of an open habit, right? So you can just see it has that nice open, airy look as opposed to the Osteos, which are more upright, right? So there's the Goldilocks, beautiful flower on it, but you can just see that habit versus this habit, nice and tight and upright. However, I want them to just intermingle and grow together. So that's why I'm going to do that. Now at this point, it is really easy, y'all. You're just gonna go in there and plant these sweet things. Plop them in, not a problem. My roots are not anywhere being close to root bound, so I'm not gonna break apart the root system. I'm just gonna tuck them in there, let them hang out right there. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get the other one done as well on this side. But this is just gonna bring a whole level of cheeriness, height. My pollinators are gonna be so happy about this. Get these in to the container. When we look out, we're sitting on the back patio and we're looking out, we will see all these sweet little cheery faces looking up at us, and it will look really nice and happy and very springy for sure, because you know springy is a word, right? So we're going to tuck that in there, and they're going to get some height on them, and everybody's going to be nice and happy and intermingled. Now I am going to go ahead and drop in some slow release fertilizer. If I had done it before I started planting, I could have just sprinkled it on top and then it would have mixed in. However, you can also top dress your plant. So don't think you have to put it in the hole. You don't have to put it in the hole with the annual. You can also just what we call top dress, put it on the soil around the annual, and it will all, every time it rains or you water it, the temperature will help release all that goodness from the fertilizer. There we go. All right, so coming in with my fertilizer. If you do it before you water in the flowers, yes, like right now, I'm getting some fertilizer is getting stuck on my plant. Just come back a little zhuzhy, a little shaky, get all the fertilizer off of those plants, just like that. Then use one of your empty containers, come back with some more of your land and sea, and you're gonna top dress. So this way, if you have any little holes, that will fill in. We got it. More levels of nutrition, helps retain moisture, all the good things that we love. Now, this container is not on irrigation. So if it doesn't rain, I have to water it. And that tends to be sometimes where this container has issues, is because someone may or may not forget to water it. And yeah, that would be the gardener's fault, not the plant's fault. So boom, there you go. They are in, they are happy, easy as that. Now I do have a spigot right here. I have a hose right here. So I'm gonna get all my stuff cleaned up, give them a nice good drink of water because it is hot. They are getting hot afternoon sun. We're not expecting any rain tonight. So I wanna get these nice and watered in. That way they can start growing and be nice and happy and just fill in this beautiful lush area. It has been a great afternoon here in the garden. I could not be happier with getting these sweet plants. Look at them. Aren't they so sweet? Getting these sweet plants added to the garden between the Goldilocks rocks and the Bright Lights purple. Just a beautiful combination right there. I love it. You can see the water is still draining, so they are going to be nice and happy for a long time. We have got, of course, you saw me the other day plant these annuals here in the ground in front of the David Austin roses. They are doing great. Everything's doing so nicely. We gotta get the fountain turned back on. I turned it off I turned it off and I forgot to turn it back on. So they are doing great. The tulips are still hanging in there. They're on their way out. The yellows were the first ones to bloom, and you can see we've got some yellow petals on the ground. But man, I have loved this. This is the Carnival blend from Color Blends, and it has just done so nicely. And then of course, looking at the 2 urns back here on each side of the seating wall, it has been a great afternoon in the garden for sure. I do want to give you an update real quickly while we're here. I know I get distracted sometimes with how things are doing, but come over here. So remember a couple weeks ago, I planted some clematis behind the roses. Well, because I've got 3 David Austins down through here. They're all various shades of pink, about 5 foot tall, and I planted the same clematis behind each one. Can you see how it is growing? I need to go ahead and get it a little bit more twined in there, but it is doing quite nicely. Then this middle rose, this is Gertrude Jekyll, and I don't know if you can see, but look, we have got buds. Yep. Rose buds. We're gonna have flowers here really soon, y'all. So exciting. Like, look at that. Oh my gosh, they're all over this plant. So we are going to have beautiful Gertrude Jekyll flowers, roses blooming here beginning. It should be about early April. That's only like a week away, so I think that'll be about the time. And I believe when I was reading in David Austin, this is one of the earliest blooming roses, so works for me. But anyway, if you are able, get out there and start having fun planting, especially those cool weather annuals. Man, just getting something in the ground, even if you can only do a container, if you can just get 1 plant in, man, it will make a huge difference in your outlook when you go outside. I know it does for me. As always, thanks so much for gardening with Creekside. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.